everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports, and today we have Aaron with us. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing fabulous. Where are you at the moment?
I'm still at home getting ready to fly out to Road America. We got a race coming up this weekend.
That's incredible. What series do you race in?
Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup travels with IMSA.
Nice. What kind of car is it?
It's a Mazda MX-5 Miata, stripped down, bare bones, and fully built up into a race car. And it's a spec series where there's nearly 30 of us out there each and every weekend with all the same parts and basically same car against each other.
That's incredible. So it's a sports car, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What made you get into sports cars?
I did open wheel beforehand, so I did Formula Ford 1600 and a few other open wheel categories, mainly like momentum based cars. And then I stumbled across the Mazda ladder whenever I was nominated for the Mazda Road to Indy shootout several years back, and I was really interested in it. And then got in the seat of a Mazda for the first time back in 2019, and really enjoyed it and tried to be part of the Mazda system through their shootout. Fast forward to 2020, I actually won the Mazda MX-5 Cup scholarship shootout and got into the series, from their scholarship.
That's incredible. What kind of scholarship is it?
Every year, Mazda has their grassroots scholarships. So they take some of the top performing Mazda grassroots amateur racers throughout the country, and they compete on and off the track through proposals, written and video proposals, and then at track with a shootout. And Mazda takes some of the most promising talents to take to their pro series. So every year now they award 2 scholarships every year to get into Mazda MX-5 Cup and race professionally.
That's awesome. What made you get into racing?
I just always wanted to race. I've always been a fan of it. Always really wanted to do it, and there's never really a question in my mind. I always want to do it.
Who inspired you?
There's a lot of drivers, but I guess I would say Jeff Gordon, probably the most.
Was he your hero growing up?
Yeah, I just thought he just did everything right. The way that he rallied his team around him, and the way he spoke, and the way he dealt with the fans. I just felt like he was a really good role model.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So are you hoping to get into NASCAR eventually, or are you focused on sports cars?
Well, I'll race anything on 4 wheels, but right now, a lot of my energy's put into sports car racing. So, right now it makes the most sense to see where I can go next, in the sports car ranks.
Have you ever considered Trans Am or GT America at all?
I've looked at it. I've been interested in it, but not seriously considered enough where I try to campaign in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What races do you hope to drive in eventually?
Man, anything and everything, all the big ones. Totally different, but the Indy 500 would always be one that I'd love to do. The big NASCAR races like the Daytona 500, and then the big sports car races like the Rolex 24 at Daytona, Le Mans, 12 Hours of Sebring, all the big ones.
Yeah, I can't blame you there. It's a lot of fun, being in a sport like that.
Mm-hmm.
How many races have you won?
I haven't kept count, but through like the school racing that I did, the dirt oval go-karts, the amateur grassroots Mazda racing that I've done, and now a couple in MX-5 Cup. Probably less than people that would have been racing since they were little kids. But it's, definitely probably somewhere between 20 and 40 or 20 and 80 or something. I'm not sure. It's getting there.
What was your first start in the IMSA?
So my first start was after winning the MX-5 Cup scholarship shootout, and it was at Daytona early in 2021. So that was my first IMSA start.
Was it the Rolex 24 at Daytona?
It wasn't in the Rolex 24 race. So our races are all 45 minutes sprint races. So our races were support races for the Rolex 24 as they are every year. And, those were my first 2 races there, basically before the Rolex 24 that weekend.
Got it. Makes sense.
Mhm.
What's your favorite track?
Um, I don't like to pick one that's local to me, but I kind of have to. I'd have to say Laguna Seca.
So you're from California then?
That's where I'm based now. Yeah.
Have you raced at Laguna Seca?
Yeah, I've raced there. Several different amateur races that I've done regionally, and I've done now 4 races in MX5 Cup there, and I've gotten 3 podiums out of the 4, including a win. So it's gone pretty well.
Have you ever seen the video footage of Alex Zanardi's pass
In which corner?
in the corner at Laguna Seca where he got by Brian Herta?
I probably have and just don't recall it, but I'll have to go check it out again.
It was a similar move to Ross Chastain's Martinsville move, a little bit.
Oh yeah, so it's pretty hairy then.
Yeah, pretty hairy and
Hmm.
very intense, and it got banned later on, like the NASCAR move was.
Hey man, if it's not banned yet, doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, for sure. What's your favorite racing movie?
Favorite racing movie? I don't know, man. There's not many I don't like. Days of Thunder is a good classic, so I'll go there. But there's probably one I'm like forgetting about.
In Talladega Nights or whatever?
Talladega Night's hilarious. I don't know if I'd call that one my favorite, but I like to have it on and laugh.
Yeah. So, what drivers have you met that you get along with?
Um, hmm. Quite a bit that I'm not actively competing against. I just had James Hinchcliffe as my teammate for our last event, and he's probably the most, I guess, notable driver that I've got to meet and have a relationship with and got along with. But yeah, other than that, I've got to exchange words with some of the other IndyCar drivers when I worked out at Pit Fit training, and you know, drivers that I meet throughout the IMSA paddock and stuff. I have a good friendship with Andy Lally, who's a really accomplished sports car and NASCAR racer. So quite a lot.
Awesome to hear. Andy Lally is a veteran in sports cars,
Yeah, he's a legend.
a legend for sure. He's absolutely talented. Like you got to see his Rolex wins he's won over the years.
Yeah, I love Andy.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten from a race driver?
They can be like retired, right?
Yeah, they can be retired.
Um, it doesn't sound great or like, you know, revolutionary or anything, but it was enough to calm me down. And it was early on. I was told, that the results don't matter. Everything else matters more than that. The way you carry yourself, the way that you handle yourself when things don't go your way. Basically, saying it in a different way that championships and success is won on your bad days, not your good ones.
That's really good advice. I never thought of that before.
I mean, we all go through the hard times in this sport. You know,
Yeah. Who's your favorite IndyCar driver if you had to pick?
as much as I want to say, James Hinchcliffe because I was just his pal and he was my teammate. I've always really loved Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon, out of massive respect, out of everything he's done, and I know Joseph, and he's he's one of the best drivers out there right now. So I really like him too. But honorable mention, I like Alex Palou as well right now. I just think he's incredible.
Yeah, it's really incredible what he's doing for the Ganassi organization.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be really hard to set yourself apart in a series like IndyCar. So to be able to do that is amazing.
I would say it's getting hard for him to decide to walk away, with
Yeah,
how
I
much
know.
success he's had.
Right.
And it's great for the Ganassi team because they lost a lot of sponsors over the years, like Target and all that. And it seems like they're rebounding a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah. Who's your favorite NASCAR driver if you had to pick?
Um. So obviously, all time it would be Jeff Gordon. Right now it's tough. I guess for sentimental reasons, Kevin Harvick. You know, Still grew up watching him, and he's pretty old school. Tough guy. Um, I like him a lot. But I like a lot of those guys, you know.
Yeah. Who's the most famous team owner you've met?
I guess you would say I briefly met them, but Roger Penske and Chip Ganassi I met and got to shake hands with them. They have no idea who I am now, like would not remember me, but that's okay. Still counts.
I actually met Penske in Nashville a couple years ago when they had the first Indy car race there. It was like 30 seconds, but I got a picture with him, and there's a really funny story I have of meeting Penske. You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
I was in the field in the streets of Nashville where they had the Indy car race and all that. I was in an empty field talking with a friend of mine that went into the race with me. And I backed myself up into the path of a golf cart and got knocked to the ground. And it turns out it was being driven by Penske.
That's a great story. Dang.
And I remember lying on the ground wondering what hit me. I was okay. And then I heard his voice ask me if I was okay. And then I was thinking, is that who I think it is? Then I stood up and yeah, and then I asked for a picture. I was like, no worries, man, but can I have a picture with you?
Hey, owed you one at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you grow up a race fan or from a family of auto dealers like I have, it you can almost accept being run into by Penske.
Yeah, I'd have done the same thing, man. I'd be like, dude, it's all right. Just, take a picture real quick.
Yeah, and I actually have that picture somewhere. Want me to pull it up for you?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah,
Might be
my
hard to show with the background, but I'll try.
my interaction with him was pretty brief as well, but I got to shake his hand, so that was pretty cool.
Yep, here it is.
Nice.
And
He
yeah,
screwed
my background.
the golf carts back there.
Yep, and the guy to the left of me was the person on the golf cart driving it.
Nice.
Yeah, and all those people in the background are walking away, unaware that they're standing near the biggest name in racing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, what are your hopes for the future?
That's as broad as that is, I guess, or as broad as my answer is going to be. My hopes are just to make it as a career professional racing driver, wherever that lands. I love racing cars, and that's what I want to do for a long time.
Yep, wish you luck in that. So, this is the final question I have for now. How can your journey impact millions of race fans?
I don't know. That's a tough one to answer, and you know, I'm not worried if I can't, impact that many people or anything, but I've been able to make it at least as far as I have now, and hopefully further. And it was really just from a story of never giving up, and trying to overcome adversity wherever it strikes, and not being afraid to take a big step because the odds are really low. And I always took chances and put my whole heart into everything I did, whether anyone thought I could do it or not. So hopefully it didn't have to get to millions of people, but if it can inspire a few and make them feel like they can do something great, then that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's good to hear. So, where can people find you?
I'm on all the socials at Aaron J Racing. And my website will be built, but it's aaronjracing.com. And yeah, that's about it. That's where they find me.
Yeah. So, everybody, please check out Aaron on the websites he mentioned. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for the next episode of SFM.